So after watching the video about the interview, it's kind of interesting to see at the end how they both had different opinions. I thought they would both be on the same level about Jacqueline or Jacqueline, however you would like to pronounce it. But which interviewee was the best for me? I would have picked Jacqueline just because she was more. Well, let me tell you why I wouldn't pick Sonia. She wasn't. It didn't seem like she was practiced, and when they asked her about where she sees herself, and with the company, she just kind of said, "I really love your company." I didn't really feel like she researched the company at all. It's just kind of a cop out, like, "Oh, I really love your company." It's kind of a blanket statement where I feel like she would hope they would just assume she knew. But talking over the interviewer, I didn't think that was okay. It happened a couple times, once for a little bit more than a couple seconds. And yeah, Jacqueline was just, she used formalities very well. She was very, sat there, excuse the stain on my shirt, but she kind of just sat there and was very straightforward, gave the answers, gave them what they wanted to know. Jacqueline, with her responses, seemed way more practiced. Sonia, yes, she was, one of the interviewees found her more appealing for the job than Jacqueline, but I don't feel her, you know, I feel like the question should be answered straightforward without any much background noise in your statement, yes or no. There's really no middle ground. Like, where do you see yourself? You don't really need to say, well, I've been at Harvard, I got this, I got this, I got this. You would think I would be, that's, they're already interviewing you for a reason, but yeah, I feel like Sonia just wasn't practiced. She talked over the interviewer and she didn't do her company research, and I just feel Jacqueline, based off the way she presented herself, just very formal, just did a better job. I like the formalities in an interview. I don't think it's really a place to like laugh and have fun. It's serious position, a company hiring somebody to continue their growth in that department. And obviously I felt Sonia was weaker because she just didn't seem practiced, talk over the interview, and her answers were just not as straightforward as I personally would have liked. But I mean, her personality was great. Jacqueline does come off, very formal and very like black and white, and Sonia does kind of have that personable vibe to her. But I feel like during an interview, I would rather discover the personable side of somebody than see that in an interview and have it be like a fake persona. And I just prefer a more formal interview. But I just feel Jacqueline did better, and Sonia was much weaker. So, I mean, which candidate was stronger on the following elements? I mean, I guess Jacqueline was really good. She answered the question. She answered behavioral questions just very like one statement. There wasn't. She gave the answer and you weren't left thinking. Very professional. Sat there, kind of like this. Very professional. Wasn't laughing, moving around, being like that. Just very straightforward, looking at the person talking to her. And interpersonal skills. That's where I feel Sonia just showed better interpersonal skills, just because of how she acted in their interview, as opposed to being very formal and very. But yeah, I would say Jacqueline overall was stronger. I mean, I wish, man, if I was interviewing, I really would have her. The way she acted in the interview, I would really actually prefer her, but it would just I just prefer a little more professional setting when I meet somebody, especially when it's for a professional job. And my biggest challenge in interviews, I would probably say, if I was to think, I've been hired on the spot of all the job interviews I've been at. So, I mean, I guess if I was to think, maybe probably researching the company, to be honest. I mean, because most people just look up a job, see if it meets their money criteria and their hours, and they don't do much else, and they get into it, and they figure out it's not really a company they want to work for. I did work for a place, called Chronic Tacos, they're very nice, but the further I got into the company, I realized it's not what I'm about, and it's just really not my forte. So I guess that would be my biggest challenge, would be to research the company more in depth. But I do feel I asked the right questions at an interview to figure out about their company. And from the video, sometimes and from the text, sometimes it's a waste of time for them to tell you about their company. But I like to engage the interviewee and do that. But that my biggest challenge. That would be it. Just researching the company, and that's a wrap on this one.